So, what are you doing for Valentine's Day? This version of Habiba is back for a minute. What are you doing for Valentine's Day? Anyway, so I thought I would bring you some Valentine's Day inspiration. Are you doing the typical teddy bears and chocolates and balloons? Teddy bears get dusty, balloons pop. And I don't know, stale chocolates? Okay, let me take that back. I love chocolates. So let's step it up a notch and do something super special for him or her. And we're gonna go into the kitchen and make something super delicious for, guess what? Under the price it would cost you to go out to eat. So for less than $40, we are going to make a delicious meal that's going to make him or her feel extra special, loved, because you put in the time and effort to make this meal. Let's get ready and go into the kitchen. Okay, before we start cooking and decorating, let's clean up. There's nothing sexy about a messy home, right? Got bills and mail all over the place. I've got dishes in the sink. And so I decided to clean up, and I'm going to use this table for our little romantic dinner. It seats 7, but I'm going to transform it for 2. I did the dishes. I'm one of those old-fashioned people that wash by hand and just use the dishwasher for storage. Clean out the sink because there's nothing better than a nice, clean, shiny sink, and clean stove. So I do all my cleaning the night before I plan to do something. I find that that is a lot better for me. And then the next day, I take out some items or shop around my home. These are things I already had that I thought would be the right color for Valentine's Day or something romantic. I had some chocolates for Kenton, some marshmallows, Rice Krispie treats, all sorts of things that I had bought from Target, the dollar section of Target, Michael's, Home Goods, anywhere I could find Valentine's inspired items, and they were not expensive. When I picked up these stuffed felt hearts, I actually thought it was a garland, and it turned out to be individual pieces. So I thought I would use it for decoration. I also had picked up these paper, I guess they are placemats for drinks or dessert, and I used them for decoration by sticking them on the window, just putting a little bit of tape that I rolled and then stuck them neatly. It's so simple, and it doesn't destroy the glass or do any damage, and it's so easy to remove, but yet it stayed up. I also had this garland, which also came from the Target dollar section. This is when you realize how old you are and you shouldn't be up there. But anyway, I also picked up some sparkle lights, which actually I had from Christmas time. So it's just like adding a little bit of sparkle without doing too much. So I removed the chairs from my large round table and decided we would use only 2 chairs. Yes, I have teenage kids, but we're gonna pretend it's just Kenton and I for this romantic dinner. I picked a nice vase that I thought would work, and I also had these crystal candle sticks, which were perfect. Add 2 tall candles to them, and you got a romantic vibe. So I have my simple white plates, which you've seen before if you've watched my setting the table videos in the past. I decided to add a table mat underneath for contrast. I have my dinner fork, my salad fork, dessert fork, and dessert spoon along with the knife. Some wine glasses, because we're grown, and I also had some water goblets. I also added some votives because I like candlelight, and I also added the paper napkin. Cloth napkins are a little bit more formal, but I couldn't find Valentine's Day cloth napkins. Add a little bit more decoration. Now I'm going to get some of the foods that don't need to be refrigerated set on the table, like the Rice Krispie treats, some chocolates that I love, and the marshmallow treats are so adorable. Okay, so let's make the chocolate covered strawberries. So delicious, so simple. Wash your strawberries, and then I'm going to melt chocolate in this tiny copper pot. So this is really good dark chocolate from Whole Foods. You put it above a small pot of boiling water. You don't want to put the chocolate directly on heat. So melt it using the steam from the water or the heat from the water, and you have to work pretty fast. You could dip it in, but the chocolate does melt really quickly, so I used the spatula because it was just a little bit neater. But oh my God, they're so delicious. So the chocolate dries really quickly, so you might have to heat it up again. But I added some sprinkles on a few of them and then put them in the refrigerator to cool. So I had some more strawberries and decided to chop them up and make a simple blueberry and strawberry fruit salad. So dessert doesn't have to be so complicated. You know, use what you have and make it pretty. And I'm telling you, it's delicious. Of course, I also like a little bit more indulgent food. So you will see I also did get some store-bought desserts. Anyway, I covered the fruit up with saran wrap, put it in the fridge until I was ready for it. We are chopping or pounding some garlic here because we're going to make our spicy honey-baked salmon. So I need you to watch carefully because we're going to use quite a few ingredients for this marinade. We have our brown sugar, the garlic, some honey, some Dijon mustard, some soy sauce or aminos, some oil, some black pepper, red pepper, and whatever spices you like for fish, some butter, and then the star of our show or star of our video, this salmon. So you want high quality salmon. You don't want the preserved salmon or the treated salmon. I just want fresh salmon, which you need to get from your good fishmonger or good grocery store. All right, I wash off the salmon. I use some lime or lemon, and then I also rinse it off and pat it dry. I melted the butter and then added all the spices. That is about a quarter cup of each ingredient. So quarter cup of butter, quarter cup of the black pepper, the soy sauce, the honey, the Dijon mustard. Mix it all very well, the garlic, and you're gonna have magic. The brown sugar, I guess that's the mustard right there. And just a little hand whisk, mix, 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 mix it well. And you're going to pour this all over the salmon. Now you can do this the night before and let the salmon marinate in it, or you can do it that same day. Depends on how spicy you want it. So you saw I put it in a pan that was already oiled, and I put some lemon or lime slices underneath, which is optional. It's up to you. The great thing about salmon is that it cooks really fast and you get a really tasty meal. So I put it on bake. Some people put it on broil immediately, but I like to bake it for about 10 minutes first. Okay, so while that's in the oven, let's get some rice, which is simple. I was gonna do some potatoes and steak initially, which is kind of very American, very, you know, traditional, but instead we're doing the salmon and rice. I keep a list to keep me organized. Okay, next we're gonna make some salsa or a salad, simple salad. This is some cucumber. I love slicing cucumbers, do you? Yeah, I really love slicing cucumbers, and I intentionally leave some of the skin on it because it gives it a little bit more texture. So try to use the organic vegetables when you're going to end up eating the skin because, you know, you want to stay healthy. So I dice the cucumbers, go back to the fish to check on it, pour some of the sauce all over the salmon, which is looking good. But now I would like it to have a little bit more color. And so instead of bake, I'm putting it on broil for the last 5 minutes to give it some color, and that caramelizes the spices on the sugar on top. All right, back to our vegetables, the cucumber. We're gonna chop some vine tasty tomatoes, red vine tomatoes. And I cut them in two, and then I cut those halves in quarters. And again, I think this is a very simple way to get some nutrition and to eat some raw vegetables. This is a large green bell pepper, delicious large green bell pepper. take out the seeds. I slice them, and then I'm going to turn it around and dice it. So, you know, you don't have to buy him a whole bunch of material things or buy her a bunch of material things. If you want, just cook. That is so special, you know? And if you don't know how to cook, then you better start learning. It's never too late to learn. I'm gonna dice up this really large red onion, which has a nice sweetness to it. And if you dice it really small, you can eat onion raw. I mean, I don't like to eat onions raw most of the time, but when it's finely diced and it's a really good red onion, it comes out really well. Okay, so we got our onions in with the cucumbers and the tomato. Now, I like things with a little bit of, you know, zing, so you can add a little bit of apple cider vinegar if you want. I added a little bit of sugar, which is also optional. It just gives it a kind of sweet and tangy flavor, almost like making a dressing on it. And then we just put it into a simple little dish, and you're ready. Put it in the fridge until you're ready for it. Okay, so this is a zucchini, and this says shrimp scampi. What are we doing with a zucchini for a shrimp scampi? Well, we're going to put it through a spiralizer, and oh my God, I love this spiralizer. You can have so much fun with it because we're going to make zucchini noodles. And so instead of heavy pasta, which is the traditional you know, ingredient used to make shrimp scampi, I'm going to use zucchini noodles to make the shrimp scampi. Isn't that a great idea? Of course, you can use the traditional noodles if you prefer, but I'm going to use these zucchini noodles, which don't even have to be cooked, or you can just barely saute them. They are so much fun, and I love the texture. But that spiralizer, you can also make French fries, you can slice things. I'll leave a link in the description box. Okay, shrimp. These are the colossal, very large shrimp, thanks to my brother. So I'm cleaning them off. Make sure you take off, you know, the shell. Make sure the insides are all clean. These happen to come already deveined and, you know, gutted. So all I had to do is take off the shell. And then make sure they were washed properly. I always like to use lemon or lime and then rinse them off. Okay, assembling our items. We got the zucchini noodles, our peppers, onions, and some garlic chopped in there. And now we're going to heat up a pan with some butter. And that looks like I'm using a lot of butter, but it's actually one stick of butter. They just cut into quarters. So it's about half a stick of butter. You can use less if you want to, or if you have high cholesterol, I suggest you use less. But butter makes everything taste good, doesn't it? Especially if you're not doing it too often. So season your shrimp. I had some garlic powder, even though I had fresh garlic as well. Salt and pepper. In my case, I really don't use too much salt. I use some seasoned salt or adobo. Put that in the butter and cook your shrimp to your liking. As you know, shrimp doesn't take long to cook. And as long as you have, you know, the butter and enough seasoning, it's going to be tasty. I like to add my vegetables into the butter. Some people like to add the onions first before the shrimp. It's up to you. I let this cook for about 5 to 10 minutes. I don't want the vegetables cooked out. I kind of like the texture. And then once that's done, I add my zucchini noodles. And I don't want to overcook them because you don't want it soft and mushy. You know, you want a little bit of texture there because zucchini really can be eaten raw. So you really don't need to cook it too long. You just want all the sauces and the juices and the spice in there. So I'm chopping some parsley to use as garnish on our healthy version of shrimp scampi, or lighter version. But you can certainly use cilantro if you don't want to use parsley. It's so pretty. Our rice is done and we are ready to put all the food on the table. I also had some store-bought dessert, so of course you don't have to do it all yourself. And to personalize it, I'm adding these tags that I bought from Michael's, I believe. And our strawberries are done and so pretty. Well, maybe not so pretty, but they tasted amazing. And don't forget your water. Enjoy, and I'll see you at the end. Make sure you watch the bloopers. Thanks for watching, and I hope you appreciated this video. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you did, and I look forward to your comments. Don't forget to check the description box below. I will leave some suitable gifts for him or gifts for her, and definitely gifts for couples if you need some last minute gifts for Valentine's Day. So again, I really appreciate you, and I also enjoy reading all your comments. I know you guys have enjoyed the medical related video that I last brought, but sometimes I like to switch it up and give you something a little bit more spicy. But of course, we will be back with more family vlogs and more cooking videos, and of course, more medicine. So I will see you soon, and bye. I gotta eat one of my strawberries though. It tastes a lot better than it looks. Mm. Mm. I don't know about these lashes, yo. And I would like to wish you and your loved ones and your friends and family a wonderful I can't even speak. Lift the neck, elongate the neck. Stop playing, Habiba. So we gotta make some food. Oh, it's ridiculous. See, this is why I don't wear lashes. Because despite wearing the hypoallergenic glue, my eyes are constantly tearing. Anyway. Woo! That's interesting. What's this light look like? Okay, not bad. Not bad, Habiba. That was a mistake, but a good one. Thank you so much for watching Kenton and Habiba.